Welcome to beloved souls. Your words weren't just fleeting whispers, they've become echoes in their minds, playing on repeat, pulling them back into memories they thought were long buried. It's as if your voice follows them through corridors they can no longer ignore, looping endlessly in the background of their lives. No matter how hard they try, they can't outrun it. Your presence still lives in their thoughts, your voice in their ears, your truth woven into their reality. Whatever truth you spoke, it broke something open. It locked them into a cycle, not of punishment, but of reckoning, regret, realization, a depth they didn't expect to feel. Before we go any deeper, let me pause for a moment to thank you. Truly, if you're new here, welcome to the family. Your presence is powerful, and your support, every like, share, and kind word, helps keep this space alive and thriving. And to my returning soul tribe, you already know how deeply I value you. Whether you've walked this path with me from the beginning or just joined recently, know this: we are rising together, evolving, healing, and awakening with every step. So now, let's get into it. Maybe you spoke something raw, something real, a truth others weren't ready to hear. Maybe you didn't even grasp the full weight of your words in the moment, but the second they were spoken, the atmosphere shifted, the illusion cracked, and nothing was ever quite the same again. Your truth struck like lightning, cutting through their carefully constructed realities. They didn't expect it, they weren't prepared for it. And now, no matter how much they wish to unhear it, it lingers. Your words, your authenticity, they are not just heard. They are felt on a level that reaches deep into the soul. They have disrupted the illusions people have been comfortably hiding behind. Your presence alone has brought forth revelations that they weren't ready to face. You didn't just speak, you exposed something within them that they had long suppressed. And that kind of exposure, it stings, but that's the power of truth. It disrupts. It awakens, it transforms. Whatever it was that you revealed, however it came forth, you did something no one else had the courage to do. You shined a light on the darkness within them, illuminating the parts they refused to acknowledge. It wasn't just a truth, it was a realization they didn't even know they needed. Now, the weight of what you've done is lingering in their mind. Your words have taken root, reshaping their reality, challenging their beliefs, and forcing them to see what they once avoided. And this is just the beginning. They can't escape it. No matter how much they try to push it away, it keeps coming back. Your words, your presence, your truth, it's replaying in their mind like an unshakable echo. Every moment, every detail, every single word you spoke, and every move you made, it's all etched into their memory, playing on a loop they can't turn off. For some, it's nothing short of terrifying, because they never thought anyone would truly see them. Not just the version of themselves they present to the world, not just the mask they wear so effortlessly, but the truth beneath it all, the layers they thought they had perfectly concealed, the fears, the insecurities, the wounds, the hidden battles. They are all exposed in the light of your presence. And that reality, it shakes them. You have a gift, a rare, undeniable ability to truly see people. Not just their surface, but their very depths, their pain, their struggles, the parts they desperately try to keep hidden from the world, even from themselves. You don't just look at someone, you perceive them. You can sense the silent cries behind their smiles, the unspoken wounds buried beneath their words. And the most incredible part, you never asked for this gift. It wasn't something you sought after, it was entrusted to you. You didn't wake up one day and decide to read people's souls. It's simply a part of who you are, a divine insight given to you by God, not to judge, not to exploit, but to understand. And because you understand, you love differently. You don't love people just for who they pretend to be. You love them through their pain. You hold space for them in ways few ever could, because you know what it feels like to hide. You've been there, You've worn masks of your own. You've built walls so high you thought no one could ever reach you. You've carried burdens in silence, just like they do. And that's why God entrusted you with this insight, because you don't condemn, you just understand. But here's the thing, not everyone is ready for that kind of love. Not everyone is prepared to be seen so clearly, to have their carefully guarded wounds exposed in the light of truth. And that's where your challenge lies. You're learning the delicate balance between empathy and boundary. You're realizing that you cannot pour endlessly into those who refuse to heal, into those who cling to their pain more than they desire freedom. You're coming to terms with the fact that not everyone is ready to be helped, and that lesson, it's crucial, because if you don't learn it, you'll keep giving until you're drained. And they know this now, the truth you shared, it haunts them. Not because you meant to harm them, not because you forced anything upon them, but because you reached them in a way no one else ever has. You spoke words that penetrated not just their mind, but their soul. You touched the part of them they thought was unreachable, the inner child they tried to silence, the pain they buried so deeply they almost convinced themselves it was gone. But you saw it, and you spoke to it. You reached into the very core of their being, where the wounds are still fresh, where the darkness lingers, where the fears whisper lies. You touched a place they were never ready to confront. And even when you walked away, your presence remained. Your energy left an imprint on their spirit, a shift so profound it couldn't be ignored. You shook them, because the real battle, it was never with you. It was never just about the words you spoke, or the truth you exposed. The real battle is with the energy that controls them, the forces holding them back from healing, from evolving, from stepping into their higher self. The spirit of fear, of doubt, of past wounds, that's what resists you. And the moment you entered their life, with your pure genuine energy, it became a battle between the person they are and the person they're meant to be. Because you are a catalyst, a force of truth, a mirror reflecting not just who they are, but who they could become. And that changes everything. When you walked in your truth, the moment you chose to stand firm in your authenticity, you became more than just a presence in their life. You became a mirror, a reflection of what healing, transformation and true liberation can look like. You didn't just exist, you resonated. Your energy, your truth, and your unwavering self-awareness reached places within them that they had long forgotten, or worse, deliberately buried. You stirred something powerful inside of them, not just a passing thought, not just a fleeting moment of discomfort, but a confrontation between their highest self and their deepest wounds. You awakened three forces at once. The soul, the part of them that yearns for growth, that seeks purpose, that silently whispers, "There is more to life than this." It's the force that dreams of breaking free, of stepping into something greater, of embracing peace and wholeness. The inner child, the version themselves that has been left behind. The innocent part of them that craves love, acceptance, and safety. The part that once believed in magic before the world convinced them to hide, to toughen up, to suppress their true nature. It's the wounded child within them that still needs to be held, seen, and nurtured. The demon, the force that keeps them stuck, the one that whispers, "Stay the same, don't change, don't heal, keep carrying the pain. Keep ignoring the truth. Keep hiding behind the mask." It is the resistance that clings to the past, feeding off their fear, making sure they remain bound to old cycles and self-sabotage. And then you arrived. You didn't come with a sword. You didn't come with a demand. You simply showed up as you, and just by being your authentic, awakened, and powerful self, you ignited something within them. You became the catalyst for their awakening, forcing them to look at everything. You didn't just say something, you didn't just do something, you hit their heart. And that kind of impact, it changes everything. It's like all their barriers crumble, everything they once used to protect themselves, to keep others at a distance, to hide behind a false sense of security. It all begins to fall apart Not because you tore them down, but because your presence made them realize they never needed those walls in the first place. Their vulnerability is exposed, the light is on, and they're waking up, all because of the impact you made. Your words, your actions, even the ones you thought were small, even the moments you brushed off as insignificant, are ringing in their mind like an undeniable truth. They can't unhear, they didn't expect it, they didn't ask for it. But it happened, and now they can't go back to sleep, because you are the catalyst for their awakening. You might not even realize it yet. You may have doubted yourself, questioned your significance, wondered if what you were doing even mattered, but the truth is, your mission was always bigger than anything you imagined. While others may have seen you operating in a specific role, a job, a friendship, a position in someone's life, none of that was the real assignment. That was just the surface, a disguise. What you were truly doing was fulfilling a higher purpose. That job you had, the one that felt ordinary, the one that others only saw from a material perspective, it was never just a job. It was an assignment, a divine placement, a carefully orchestrated mission. You weren't just working a role, you were planting seeds. Every interaction, every conversation, even the moments where you simply existed in a space, they all held purpose. You were sent to deliver messages, you were sent to awaken souls, you were sent to shift perspective, and now it's clear, your task in that chapter is complete. The moment you stepped into that situation, whether you fully understood it at the time or not, you were placed there for a reason that went far beyond what anyone else could see. You were never just an employee, never just a friend, never just a passing presence in someone's life. You were divine intervention in human form. You were a guide, a messenger, a beacon of light, even if you didn't carry that title. And the truth is, the job was never about the paycheck. It was never about the status, the title, or even the recognition. It was about impact, about awakening, about aligning others with their path. Even if they weren't ready for it, you walked into that space, and things shifted, because your presence isn't ordinary. Your energy doesn't go unnoticed. Your words, your truth, your authenticity ignite something deep within others, and now their eyes are open. They can't unsee what's been revealed. They can't pretend they don't feel the shift. They can't go back to who they were before you walked into their life, because you didn't just speak to their mind. You spoke to their soul, and once a soul is awakened, it can never go back to sleep. You have done your part. But now everything has changed. Now because of you they see things differently. Now whether they admit it or not, they feel the shift. But as this chapter closes, you might feel something stirring inside you. A sense of emptiness, a feeling that something is missing, like there's unfinished business. It's natural. You poured your energy into this, and now it's time to walk away. But here's the truth. You have done exactly what you were meant to do. You've spoken the words that needed to be said. You've shown the love that needed to be felt. You have planted seeds of truth in their soul, and those seeds will continue to grow long after you're gone. It doesn't matter if they don't acknowledge it now. It doesn't matter if they resist, deny, or pretend they haven't been affected. Your presence alone created ripples that will move through their life forever. Even in silence, you left an imprint. Even without another word, they feel the weight of what you've shown them. You stirred things deep within them, things they weren't prepared to face, and now they have no choice but to reckon with the truth. But here's what you must remember. It was never your job to stay and ensure their transformation. Your purpose wasn't to fix them, save them, or carry them through the process. That was never your burden to bear. You were only meant to awaken something inside them, to reveal, to ignite, to shift. And you did that. Your mission is complete. Now it's time to let go. It's time to release the attachment to how things unfold from here. You may feel like staying, like watching over them, guiding them further, making sure they don't fall back into old patterns, but that is not your role. Some lessons are meant to be learned in solitude. Some awakenings require the absence of the one who triggered them. And you have your own journey to walk. So trust that you fulfilled your divine purpose in their life. The Spirit guides you even when you don't understand. You may not fully understand why things happened the way they did, why you were called into this person's life, only to be led away, why you felt such a deep connection, only to now feel an even deeper void. But when you listen to the Spirit's guidance, you are always exactly where you are meant to be. The Spirit moves you, it whispers in ways that don't always make sense. It leads you to places you never expected to go, and it calls you to leave when you least expect it. You followed those divine whispers, even when you didn't understand them. You showed up, did your part, and now you're being called to move forward. And I know it isn't easy. When you give so much of yourself, when you care, when you invest your heart and soul into something, walking away can feel like loss. But in reality, it's alignment. It's the universe shifting things exactly as they should be. It's the divine placing you where you are truly needed next. Let go of the guilt. You did what you were meant to do. If there's any guilt, any fear, any lingering self-doubt about whether you said too much, acted too boldly, or left too soon, release it. Those emotions have no place in this next season of your life. The mind loves to second guess. It replays moments, wondering if we should have done things differently. But the truth is, you did exactly what you were meant to do. The Spirit often calls us to act in ways that feel uncomfortable, strange, or even risky. It leads us to speak words that feel too heavy, to take actions. And when we step outside of our comfort zone, we start to question ourselves. Did I overstep? Did I say too much? Did I make a mistake? But there are no mistakes in divine alignment. When the Spirit calls, you answer, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. Trust that you were guided to say exactly what needed to be said. Trust that you were sent exactly where you were needed, and trust that now you are being called to something greater. Your path is still unfolding. This is not the end of your journey, it is only a transition, a shift, a realignment. Just as you were divinely placed in that situation, you are now being guided to your next assignment. There is more work for you to do, more souls to touch, more truths to reveal, more awakenings to trigger. So do not linger in the past. Do not hold on to what has already been completed. Instead, stand firm in knowing that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. You are being led, you are being guided, you are walking in divine purpose. And this is only the beginning. It was never about you. It was about the truth they needed to hear. It was never about your comfort. It was never about what felt easy or convenient. It was always about them, about what they needed to hear, about what had to be said, even if it was uncomfortable, even if it made you question yourself. Sometimes truth feels harsh. Sometimes it feels out of place. But truth is never wrong, and neither were you. You followed the divine nudge. You spoke not for your own satisfaction, not to prove a point, not to feel powerful, but because the truth was meant for them, because they needed it, because the chains they were wrapped in could only be broken by something real, something raw, something that cut through the illusion they were living in. That truth you shared, it wasn't just words, it was a key to their healing, their awakening, their transformation. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm, to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are